If you are currently scanning your phone waiting for a text that isn't coming, your brain is treating that silence as a matter of absolute life and death. The exact millisecond you feel uninvited, left out, or completely unwanted by a group, your body undergoes a structural crisis. A cold, suffocating numbness spreads through your chest, your posture slumps, and your mind forcefully starts playing a slideshow of your worst social failures. Why does a completely social condition, the invisible feeling of being unneeded, trigger the exact same symptoms as starvation or physical injury? Because behind your conscious awareness, your neurological system views being unwanted as a direct threat to your physical survival. There is an ancient, terrifying evolutionary design built directly into your neural pathways, and if you don't discover how to override this loop, the absolute desperation to feel validated will continue to trap you inside toxic friendships and bad relationships, begging for crumbs of attention. To understand this emotional black hole, we must look at the brutal anthropological data of tribal dependency. Social psychology experiments at major research labs conducted a digital game called Cyberball to scan people's reactions to exclusion. Volunteers played an online ball-tossing game, but suddenly, the other players stopped throwing the ball to them, ignoring them completely. The real-time fMRI scans revealed something that stunned the scientists. Being left out activated the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, the pain matrix. Your brain registers social isolation inside the exact neural circuits that process raw, physical tissue damage. When your subconscious mind senses, "No one wants us here," it doesn't process it as a mild social awkwardness. It interprets the situation as, "The pack has discarded us. We are exposed in the dark, and we are going to freeze or be hunted." For over 200,000 years, staying connected to a group was the only shield humans had against giant Ice Age predators. An individual human was slow, weak, and easily edible. To be left unwanted by the campfire meant absolute certain death before dawn. This intense evolutionary emergency creates a highly toxic modern trap, the psychological concept of the chameleon prison. You unconsciously change your opinions, suppress your dark humor, distort your values, and say yes to things you absolutely despise. Your survival mind convinces you that wearing an artificial mask is safer than showing your real self, because the real self might get rejected. Every single time you shape-shift just to fit into a room, your internal general triggers an immediate anxiety alert. It floods your biological loop with continuous cortisol spikes, making you feel completely disconnected from your own life story. Your mind begins whispering, "Keep pleasing them. Even if you are acting, at least you are safe from the dark void of being alone." You stay paralyzed inside this people-pleasing feedback loop, slowly erasing your unique identity day after exhausting day. You mistake this intense, panicky craving for social validation as a sign of respect or deep community connection. This constant hunger doesn't stop at behavior. It mutates into an invisible parasite that warps how you perceive reality itself. If a friend takes an hour longer to reply to a text, your hypervigilant radar scans for immediate signs of social betrayal. Your brain starts mapping out complex imaginary timelines where they are actively hanging out with other people and mocking your name. You are quite literally poisoning your personal baseline chemistry, injecting toxic spikes of adrenaline into neutral everyday events. You become caught inside an exhausting psychological overdraft loop, trading your authenticity away just to avoid being left behind. Clinical experiments confirm that an validation addict will choose a toxic, abusive room over an empty quiet room 90% of the time. You trap your own soul inside a chronic cage of performance anxiety, completely breaking your ability to ever feel safe in your own skin. You watch your actual potential collapse entirely, simply because your primitive hardware refuses to let the tribe go. So, how do we enforce a permanent ceasefire in this internal war? How do we stop the desperate hunger to feel wanted? The ultimate revelation requires a massive cognitive shift. You must realize that the campfire has changed entirely. Your brain is panicking because it is running an ancient software patch. It doesn't realize that in the modern world, a quiet room is perfectly safe. The next time you feel that suffocating social anxiety or the cold sting of rejection, do not try to desperately chase after their approval. Instead, Ground your nervous system using a clinical technique called self-sovereignty anchoring. Face the isolation as a necessary chemical baseline reset. Tell your body, we are not exposed in the wild. We are completely secure. Over time, the desperate need for external approval will completely melt away, and your true self will step out into the light. Walk out of the chameleon cage. Become the anchor of your own story. If you want to see more of these deep psychological breakdowns, hit that subscribe button right now, and drop a comment below sharing a time your brain tried to trick you. Keep breathing. The world needs your mind at peace. That's it for tonight. Take care, bye-bye, and see you soon.